We're ready.
The time is 7:01 and I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Red Oak City Council to order. Let it be known that a quorum is present with the exception of Councilman Miller, who is absent. Notice has been duly posted in accordance to Texas Government Code Section 551, and we're here to conduct business for the city. If you will, please stand and join me in the invocation and the pledges. Heavenly Father, as we take a moment to kind of reflect on what's been going on in our lives, our city, our nation, and our world, give us comfort that you are the ultimate answer to what can happen. Please bless each of those entities the way that you see fit. I will especially ask for prayers and blessings for our city management, our first responders, fire, police, our military, and also a little prayer for our governments. Please help us realize and help us remember what we're here to look out for at the local level. Give us strength and comfort. Forgive us where we fail you. In your name, I pray. And
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
all right, so here we go. Ms. Tierney, I apologize. You have an announcement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to introduce Alexis Ingram. She is our new budget analyst, budget and CIP analyst. It's a long title, lots of stuff to do. She's coming to Red Oak with 5 years governmental experience. And in those areas, she's done payroll, accounts payable, accounting and general bookkeeping. She comes with a bachelor's degree in business administration with an accounting focus. And in this role, she'll be helping formulate our budget, assisting departments when they have budget questions or budget issues, and also be tracking our projects so we can keep track of our longer term projects.
Welcome, Ms. Ingram. And I see you have a great set of helpers back there. You want to introduce them?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if they'll come up.
Well, you just have them wave.
Say, hi, these are my two sons. The oldest is Kirk and the baby is Carter. He's busy on the phone.
That's right. Well, glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, time is for citizens' comments. Citizens' comments can be on any subject. Just remember that if it's not on the agenda, we may or may not be able to address it. They're limited to about 3 minutes. We didn't have anybody sign up. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak on that? Just to say hi, that'd be great. Anyway, all right, cool. Well, then we will move on. So time for a consent agenda. Consent agenda are items that are considered routine in nature and can be acted upon in one motion. Any council member, city manager, or deputy can ask for an item to be pulled out. These are things that we've been briefed on before, recurrent items that might come back up. Cancellation of general elections, woo-hoo, saving the city some money. All right, here we go. Things like that. Is there any item 1 through 7 that we would like to pull out and act on separately.
No items.
No problem.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, so that first was Franklin. Okay, second was Lightfoot. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Good ride. Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, I.
That passes 4-0. Item 8. Consider adoption of resolution number 25-015R, the City Council, City of Red Oak, Texas, approving the expenditures of funds by the Red Oak Economic Development Corporation in an amount not to exceed $400,000 for professional services agreement with Dowhut Contracting Incorporated. I don't need to read the rest of that then. Okay, okay,
Mayor, council.
yep,
The, the details on this is essentially the restroom that was started a couple years ago that was defaulted but through another contractor is ready to be picked up. And we did receive full funding in return from the bonding company. And so I've gone and asked for $400,000, not just for the restroom itself, but it also considers all the ancillary items which we wanted in there before. The sidewalks, the lighting, the security fencing, and also the security cameras.
all right. Council, is there any questions that you need on that?
$400,000 for restroom. Something else. No, I don't have. That's the world these days. We want to get it done with. I think we've been hanging on this thing for, it seemed like years. I know Mr. Hargrove wants to get it, but it's there.
All right. Should I say you don't have any questions?
No, I don't. have
Okay.
any. Let's run it.
Entertain a motion
Yeah,
to
move-
approve.
Move.
Second.
Okay, so the second was Smith and the first was Goodwin.
Yeah.
Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Good ride.
Smith, I.
That's 4-0. Item 9 is also related to resolution 25-016, City Council, City of Red Oak, Texas, awarding a bid and authorizing the construction contract to Craftsman LP through board by contract number 679-22 for the labor and materials for replumbing the Hargrove Park splash pad. Mr. Kelly.
Mayor, council, couple years ago, we were grateful to receive a splash pad out at the Hargrove Park. I had no idea, and I think everybody's caught off guard how popular that splash pad is. And one of the things that we were asking here is to upgrade the plumbing and the pumping system. Right now, we're running that thing about 6 hours a day during the summer on limited hours. Several things that this will do for us with the larger tank and the upgraded equipment is we're going to be able to run it as long as we want. We want to run it 12, 14 hours a day, that we can get away with that, and that won't be a problem. Also, one of the things in here that is a key consideration is there was an incident that happened back in 2020 where a child died in one of these interactive water features.
But not here.
Not here, not
All
here. No, it was another
Just want to point
city.
that out.
Another city, and essentially what the State Department of Health is asking everybody, and it's a requirement now, that you have a secondary sanitation system that is approved through them, and that system requires replumbing some of this. And so if we're allowed to do this, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this to a better operating feature where we'll have better control. It'll send us email alerts and things like that if something gets out of whack, and instantly shut off. So we can go out and investigate and make sure that everybody's safe. So we don't have to worry about anybody ever being harmed. We do expect to, with this, like I said, the extended hours of use is something that we really desire. And having it to where instead of it just running for a few hours a day, I think the longer running operating period will also be something that will get some positive feedback from the community.
Excellent. Any questions?
No.
questions?
Um,
Just to point out real quick, So it is in the budget, but it was in the budget to do the one over at Pearson Park. This one was not known that we were gonna have to make these modifications. So this allows this to be open hopefully by most of the summer at least, rather than starting from scratch and trying to build something over at Pearson that may not be.
So it was budgeted to do a new one at Pearson, but instead we feel like expanding this one is a better use of that money.
Right. We may come back next year. or
Sure,
something and look
sure.
for
I mean, obviously they're
Pearson.
popular. I know that there's one,
Right.
another neighborhood that's HOA owned, I think that's also real popular. So these things are definitely good amenities.
And Mayor and council, it's funded out of park development fees.
Okay.
Real quick, Mayor, Kyle, does the 180 include the bond?
Through
There
you.
was, or the
the-
380, I'm sorry.
The
include
three, yeah,
bond?
that includes the bond. That's all inclusive of everything. Yes, sir.
Okay,
And so is this something that they're gonna be able to start pretty soon? Like,
As soon as they get the approval tonight, they're ordering all the equipment tomorrow. There is a long lead time of about 5 weeks on one of the items. So that one's one of the ones they want to go ahead and get ordered immediately because there's a lot of upfront things they can do to get there. They think they can time this project to where hopefully we'll be through with it by the end of May.
Sure.
Our goal is to have it ready for the summer.
entertain a motion to approve resolution 25-01616 R.
So move.
Smith and Lightfoot. Any other questions? Those in favor?
Franklin, I. Good one, I.
Lightfoot, I.
Smith, I.
That's 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Consider adoption resolution 25-017 R, the city council, city of Red Oak, Texas, amending the master fee schedule by amending the monthly water and sewer rates by amending section 11.001 A and B, water and sewer feeds, monthly water rates and monthly wastewater rates, providing for a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, providing an effective date. Mr. Fuller.
I think Jonathan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, Mayor, council. Some of you will recall back in 23, we went through a water wastewater study, rate study, adopted a new table. And if you've looked in your packet, that table that was adopted back in 23 is in your packet. We, as part of the recommendations, there was no recommended increase to the actual water rates in 24, fiscal year 24. There was a meter equivalency increase in that year. And then this year in 25, there was a recommended increase of 3.05% on the water minimum adjustment and the volumetric adjustment, and then another meter equivalency. Since we didn't do that in 2024, we're recommending that we look at doing the recommended 3.05% on the water rates, and then an additional 20% on the meter equivalency. So we're actually in the process right now of going through another rate study and an update because of some of the dynamics of the water system have changed since we looked at it 2 years ago now. And so we're basically going through a full rate study as we speak right now. So our hope is that rate study will be complete and we'll be able to bring that back to you at the beginning of the calendar year after winter averaging is done, so that we can make recommendations moving forward.
Council, any questions? So entertain a motion to adopt resolution 25-017 R.
So move. Second.
Franklin, Lightfoot. Those in favor?
Franklin, I. Good one, I.
Lightfoot, I.
Smith, I.
That's 4-0. Item 11, consider adoption resolution number 25-018 R, City Council, City of Red Oak, Texas, denying a petition
denying a petition for consent to the creation of Rocket Ranch Municipal Utility District of Ellis County, providing the city manager to undertake all reasonable means to reject such petition and oppose the creation of the municipal utility district and providing an effective date.
Thank you, sir. Legal?
Mayor and council, as you may, over the course of your service to the city, know occasionally a municipal water, or a MUD or a special utility district has to seek consent of the city if it's located in whole or in part within the jurisdictional limits of the city or its extraterritorial jurisdiction. We have received a petition from Rocket Ranch Municipal Utility District of Ellis County through a developer whose name appears in the material that was in your packet, being Century Property Acquisitions LLC, seeking to create a municipal utility district which is wholly located in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city. Staff, after reviewing the same and based on our past experience with municipal utility districts and special utility districts, would recommend that we oppose the creation of the Rocket Ranch Municipal Utility District. If we reject this petition, the owner or the developer may seek to receive the approval by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and seek to have it approved that way. This resolution would authorize the manager to take reasonable steps to oppose that and see to it that that district is not created. Be happy to answer any questions.
Where's this located?
It's the property that we received from Pine Hill.
Okay, I got it.
They had previously indicated that the owners were selling to someone that had some interest in doing this, and we had talked to them briefly, and then they kind of went radio silent, and then all of a sudden we got this petition.
Are they within the city?
ETJ.
Just our ETJ, not our city limits.
All right, so I entertain a motion to adopt resolution 25-018R, and that adoption is a denial, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
The passing this will indicate that we do not consent, and we would not approve the creation of that district, and they would have to go to the
just want to make sure.
DCEQ.
So moved. All right, that's Councilman Franklin. Good one. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Good one, I.
Life and I.
Smith, aye.
That passes 4-0. Nice. Come on, chief. I like the music. So it sounds really good.
She was whining. She was back there whining because she was looking at the ugly guy standing behind her. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to advise everyone, as we saw just this past week to the south and to our southeast, we're obviously entering severe weather season. Make sure everyone has multiple ways of receiving severe weather notification. Also, we've received several notifications from citizens recently that they can hear sirens inside of their homes. I just want to remind everyone, the outdoor warning sirens are not designed to be, heard inside of your home. They're outdoor warning sirens for those that are out walking their dogs in a park, things of that nature. Again, this is the reason that we encourage everyone to have multiple ways of receiving weather notifications, such as your smartphone, weather radio, TV, AM, FM radio, etc. And then just to also remind everybody, since we're getting into severe weather season, that not only do we use these for an impending tornado, but if there's a tornado nearby our city, if there's winds in excess of 70 miles an hour, if there's large hail or any other emergency that we deem necessary, we can set those sirens off. But we do test those monthly. The first Wednesday at 2:00 every month, we test those. And so just a friendly reminder. On our annual, I did want to highlight on our annual report that we put out this month, from 2014 to 2024, we had a 60% increase in call volume. We had a 35% increase just from 2020 to 2024. And last year, our busiest day of the week was Fridays. Busiest time of the day is 6 p.m. So if it's on a Friday or 6 p.m., stay at home. And then we did see overall from 23 to 24, a 10% increase in calls. So that's all I have. Unless y'all have any additional further questions.
I have done.
No question. How are we doing on our bidding process for this?
So it's going out to, it should be going out to bid here this week or next week. And then we're anticipating bringing it to the April council agenda for our GMP pricing for the construction. Still on track to start construction beginning of May.
Do you recall how long that takes?
15 to 18 months. We're kind of projecting September of 26-ish.
And
Don't hold me to
then
that.
staffing and stuff, how does that kind of play into that?
I-
When do you start looking to get?
So
people up to-
originally, we were going to try to go after the SAFER grant, which generally opens up in January, which is the federal SAFER grant. But with the federal DOGE, they put a halt on all of that. And they're not allowing anyone to apply for that currently. So obviously, we're not going to be able to go for the SAFER grant.
That'll be included in the budget upcoming to fund those positions. We're not sure when they will be able to actually start them.
Right.
It just depends on the SAFER program and also what kind of budget monies we have.
Sure. Yeah. All right, great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Wolf.
Mayor, Council, I wanted to let you know that we provided in y'all's council packets our annual reports for response to resistance, pursuit analysis, and our annual report. So you have that data if you want to take a look at that. And real quick on the monthly report, I just wanted to give an update on the animal shelter renovation. They have gone back in and framed the inside of the building. They've roughed in plumbing as well as electrical. They have brought in some, what they call select fill, where they're going to do the expansion. Had to remove some of the subgrade and put in the select fill. And they're getting ready to rough the plumbing in on that before they pour the concrete for that slab. So it's moving along very well. The communication with the contractor has been very, very good with keeping us in the loop and the progress on that. Other than that, I don't have anything to add unless you have questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ms. Beasley.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A couple highlights from this month's report. We have completed a few minor renovations over at the Municipal Center. So inside the old library space, we've removed some of the old shelving units to kind of open up that space, as well as that old circulation desk. Done some painting repairs and some wall repairs there. And then we are currently working on finalizing carpet replacement in the ballroom as well as the library space. That carpet was about 20 years old. So it definitely needed it once all the shelving was out of there. So minor improvements just to, make sure that the functionality of that space stays where it needs to be for our renters. And then we have some smaller groups that are actually starting to take advantage of that space. So some reoccurring monthly meetings, a couple homeschool groups that are using it for some locations, and actually using it for a theater group to meet there as well. So taking advantage of some of that open space now within the Municipal Center. Besides that, wanted to touch on, we are adding a live band to this year's Red Oak, White and Blue. So we are excited to add that element to kind of improve this year's event as much as we can. We are limited obviously on space, but we thought that would be a good addition for this year's Red Oak, White and Blue event. So we have added Jukebox Heroes, which is a top 40 cover band out of DFW. So they'll be joining us this year. Besides that, we do have 2 partner events coming up with the Red Oak Area Chamber. So they'll be hosting their Business Expo here at the Government Center on March 20th. That is on a Thursday.
And then on April 11th, they'll be having their golf tournament. So I know I've heard from a couple of you, but if anybody else is interested in joining a team for the golf tournament, if you'll just let me know. And I will take any other questions anybody might have.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hartman.
Mayor, council, just wanted to highlight from the report this week that we released the permit for the new 7-Eleven there at Cole Road and Ovilla Road. So we'll be meeting with them this week actually for a pre-construction meeting, and they'll be getting started probably by the end of the month. So new restroom over there, new splash pad equipment, and brand new 7-Eleven.
Sounds good.
That's all I got. If you got any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Ms. Tierney.
Alrighty, so for the finance department, a couple of highlights from the report this month. Sales tax is on track. We usually like to see around 28 of budgeted revenues, 20% of budgeted revenues, and we're sitting at about 23, so they're just a little under, but we're still over the prior month percentage the same time last year. So property taxes, of course, they're collected mainly from December through February. So we saw some of our highest collections in this last month. So we're sitting at about 98.69% of our budgeted revenues. So the remainder of the collections this year will kind of trickle down. Our building permit revenues are still up. They're at about 156% of our budgeted revenues. And that's, due to a couple of really large permits, one-time payments. The general fund revenues and the water sewer fund and the stormwater drainage fund are at 81%, 50%, and 39% respectively of their budgeted revenues. The expenses are on track. The general fund is at about 38% of the budgeted revenues. The water sewer fund is at about 45%, and the drainage fund is at 57%. And those percentages jumped up from the prior month due to our debt payments. And so you'll see those a little bit more hit toward the end for our final interest payments. The accounting department, I forgot to put it on the accomplishments, but the accounting department successfully set up a project ledger. And we've tested it on a few of the departments. So it's a sub ledger that sits in our system to help track our long-term projects, ensuring that the departments can see their own budgets when it comes to these longer-term projects. And it's operating successfully, so we will implement that with the remaining projects for the city. The budget department is beginning preparations for the FY 25-26 budget. And so we'll be putting together the capital and personnel plans here soon and doing our budget kickoff. And the utility department is going to start a account analyzation to ensure that we're billing as accurately as we can. And then that'll commence this month. Any questions?
Going on. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Phillips.
Mayor and council, Amanda's out on vacation this week, so a couple of quick updates for HR. 2 new employees started in February, those finance, which you met tonight, and then an employee in public works. We have 6 open positions we're currently recruiting for citywide. And then the HR department has been, as mentioned before, implementing the new performance management software that we received as part of the budget process. NeoGov is what we call it. So user training's been rolled out, and all the supervisors, managers, directors are working on their annual employee evaluations currently. And those are all due in by April 1st.
Good.
Happy to attempt to answer any other HR questions that you may have.
Is that your way of saying, don't ask me any HR questions?
No, please do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Benford.
Mayor, council, just a couple of two highlights. One, we finally had our first successful cybersecurity phishing test, which we kind of, I think there was one person that clicked on one thing and pretty much everybody else did what they were supposed to do. So we were very happy with that. And our new email server is up and running and we're moving accounts over to it. Some of them are taking longer than others because they're just big mailboxes, but we hope to be over to that and have the old one cut off by probably mid-April sometime. So there'll be a few enhancements. The web mail client looks a little different, a few new tools you have, but other than that, you shouldn't notice any difference.
Thank you, sir. Questions?
I would just add here, and this is partly IT and partly city secretary. But we've got the new agenda software that we're working through. And for council, I think what we decided May, we're gonna try to roll it out and do kind of a meeting where we have both the old paper method as well as the new digital method. And we decided on May because we'll have a new city council member and we can give all the city council members that same training going through that process at the same time.
Getting rid of me, aren't you?
Well, I didn't want to have to go through it
I was
again.
gonna say, he didn't have to train you on something new.
All right, sounds good. Mr. Phillips.
Mayor and council, want to give a quick update on the library. As you know, we've had a transition in the library. LS&S has been working through their internal recruitment and came back to us and presented us two candidates to interview as finalists for the library director position. So I'm happy to report that next meeting, you'll get to meet our new library director. Her name is Heather Fuller, no relation to Mr. Fuller down the dais there. But she is from Ellis County, graduated from Red Oak High School. And she's currently the library director in Farmers Branch. So we're excited to have her on board. She's been serving as the interim library director in this transition period. So we announced that to the library board at the last meeting. And so we're excited for Heather to get started and join the team.
Is she a member of the organization that had the library before, or is she? Okay.
She's Ellis.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's an LS&S employee.
How did the board take that?
We've got that on executive.
Okay, all right.
Any other library related questions I can attempt to answer? Thank you.
Good update.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kelly.
Howdy again, Mayor, Council. I just wanted to update you guys about a training that myself and Danny Weimer got to attend 2 weeks ago. The Texas Recreation Park Society. I'm a board member there. We have a annual conference where we had about 1,800 people attend. So it was well attended up in Allen. I wanted to thank y'all for allowing us to go to conferences like this, because what it does for us is allows us to see what the rest of the world and the rest of the state's doing and what's going on. So that way we can keep up with trends and try to keep Red Oak in front of everything. The one thing that I would like for you to look up when you get a chance, there's actually something more popular in this world than pickleball. It's called paddle. I've never heard of this, but paddle is the #1 sport now. It has overcome pickleball. And it looks like tennis, but you're inside of a glass, basically a glass wall. You can play off the sidewalls and stuff like that. So
Like
it's
handball.
a little bit like handball. Yeah, you're using a racket, a little bit smaller racket and different size ball. Yeah, it's wildly popular, and the U.S. Tennis Association has opened a few of the courts up in, I believe, New York. Is that where USTA is located? Up in New York, they've actually associated a few of these courts there. So I'm not asking for this. I'm just letting you know that there's something out there other than pickleball. And also that at this event, we were able to see a lot of the latest and greatest. So very grateful for getting to go to trainings like that, getting to take time off and go spend time with our peers. And also want to ask, is there any questions or anything that from the report for this month?
We don't have any pickleball courts in this town, do we?
Yes, sir.
Where are they?
B&B Theaters.
Okay. But nothing from the city.
Well, we have a practice court over there on the north side of the Parks and Rec building. It's a temporary net and the court's painted on the asphalt there and I do
Put
have
new
a
asphalt
couple,
down?
sir?
You put new asphalt down?
No, that's the asphalt that was existing. We just decided we'd repurpose it. So we put one court in the middle. I do have a couple that comes occasionally and they'll knock on the door and ask if they can borrow a set of paddles because our employee, part of one of the benefits here is our employee workout room. We actually put paddles and balls in there. So if anybody wants to slide outside and challenge themselves to a game, they're more than welcome to do so. Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bedford.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have a whole lot of major updates other than the East Villa Road TxDOT relocates. Day services mobilized, starting there at Ryan. They're going to be working east towards Cole Road. They have until September. No, I'm sorry. They have until October to finish, but they estimate they'll be finished long before then, as long as nothing goes wrong. And then we are Landmark Structures is mobilizing next Monday on the new elevated storage tank. So that's very exciting to see. We're going to get a little camera going up to do time lapse of the tank being built. Be pretty boring at first, but once they start going vertical, it'll be exciting to see.
So have we heard when the new light at 35 and Novilla Road will go active?
We have not heard TxDOT. Every
share
time we
that.
ask, they refer us to their website that doesn't have very many updates. And then all of a sudden they do something.
So is the thought, the way they've shifted all the lights over, that the northbound lanes will be closed and there'll be one way going across the bridge?
I'm not sure. It might just be for construction activities so that they can limit how many cars going over the bridge at a time. But they have not been very forthcoming with their traffic control plan so far.
Yeah, I think they're getting ready because they shifted the interstate over so they can start boring holes.
Yep. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of work on the service roads and it's been a ton of fun to get around. And then other than that, we completed 7 manholes and manhole rehab. We have 5 more to go. And that's all to reduce our inflow and infiltration of TRA so we can try to reduce that bill as much as possible. And then with that, at the end of this month, we are starting a flow monitoring program where they'll drop flow meters in various manholes throughout the city so that we can compare dry weather flow rates to wet weather flow rates and then try to narrow down where that rainwater is entering our system so we can quit paying TRA to treat rainwater.
And then something that just kind of popped up.
Yep.
If you get a chance on Red Oak Road, the second bridge where y'all did the concrete pads and stuff, I think all that's collapsed with all that rain.
Okay.
So take a look at that.
Just west of the old city hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was just saying, just go by and look.
Did you get that hole filled over Steinbach?
So right now we put a steel plate over it while we take a better look at the interior of those pipes. We don't want to just Band-Aid it, but right now looking at it, we will be able to cut out some of that asphalt, go back and do 2-inch lifts, put down 4 inches of asphalt, and then rebuild the northern head wall on that
Okay.
to prevent further erosion
Thank you.
until improvements are made on that road in the future.
Thank you.
All right.
But
Thank you,
that's-
sir.
Thank you.
All right, the time is 7:39 and we will go into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.087, 551.072, 551.071, 551.074, and I think I got all of them.
Yes, sir. 771,
2,
777.
772, 87, yeah. All right, and
They're sitting here trying to look at the order.
Yes. we were
Maybe we'll
right
do
back.
that one first.
yeah,
I don't know if you want to do that.
yeah.
Might not be the right word to use. We expect some action to happen.
One of them.
All right.
Unless Bob says.
That's right. Don't get your hopes up. There'll be something that happens. They don't want to call it, we're about the word action. Like, we're gonna wow Karen, she's not gonna be asleep.
I know.
So,
She's gonna be waiting. Edge of her seat.
I'd like to invite, Mr. Hartman, can you come in and join us?
Yes.
We know what's calling that though.
Furball, right?
Not for you. No, no, no. I'm finished.
All right,
No, I'm not quite.
good. All right. The time is 9:36 and 9:37, and we will reconvene back into open session. We do have some action items to take place. And our legal's going to read a motion.
Actually, Mayor and Council, there'll be three motions, one involving the ROIDC purchase on Wildwood. Is to consider a motion to approve funding by the Red Oak Industrial Development Corporation to purchase the Wildwood tract, being approximately 84 plus or minus acres for the price of $4,645,630. All you're doing is approving the funding spent by ROIDC.
So moved. Second.
Lightfoot, Smith, those in favor?
Franklin, I. Good one,
Lightfoot, aye. Smith, aye.
That passes 4-0.
The next motion will be a motion to consider approval of an amendment to the fiscal year 2024-2025 General Services Agreement by and between the City of Red Oak and the Red Oak Industrial Development Corporation to fund a sinking fund conditioned upon approval of an agreement with city manager for retention of a one-time payment of approximately 1 year salary and additional sum of $94,000 for the remainder of the fiscal 2024-2025 fiscal year budget for employee retention as directed by council and or city manager.
Entertain that motion.
So moved.
Councilman Franklin, Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I. Good one, I.
Lightfoot, aye. Smith, aye.
And Karen will get all that stuff specifically to you.
The last motion to consider tonight is a motion to approve the renewal of the employment agreement by and between the City of Red Oak and City Manager Todd Fuller as city manager from April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, providing for a 3% increase to the base salary, continuation of all other employee expenses and benefits under the same terms and conditions as his current contract, including his retirement. And then providing for an annual additional compensation of approximately $85,000 as an annual supplement to his base salary for economic development duties as assigned by the ROIDC and the ROEDC and the city council, providing for a long-term retention agreement by and between city manager Fuller and the city for basically 3.5 years to run through September 30th, 2028, in a total amount of approximately 1 year salary as funded through an agreement with ROIDC, which you previously approved this evening, and authorize the mayor to sign after approval as to form by the city attorney.
So moved.
Councilman Lightfoot,
Second.
Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I. Good one, I.
Lightfoot, aye. Smith, aye.
All right, that passes
I got
4-0.
I got it, sir.
All right,
No other actions result of executive session, and you have no further business on your agenda.
all right. Entertain a motion at 9:40 to go home.
So moved.
Yep, let's do it. Pass
All in
4-0.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
On the record, aye.
Have a good night.